What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more George Kranz, and we're going back with what I think is the final regular tune from his 1995 album Sticky Druisin. There is another mix of one of the tracks I've already reacted to in the folders, so we can go through that, but then I'll be on to another George Kranz album. So once again, shout out to Han Solo for making me aware of this artist and providing the raw materials. And the next tune we're going to listen to is Minutes of Love. I'll admit, when I looked at the title, it made me laugh. Love is generally something discussed in longer time frames than minutes. Now, it can be a single evening, you know, you fell in love at first sight, or you had this perfect evening with someone, like, you know, like the Cinderella paradigm or something. Ultimately, when I see minutes of love, it makes me think of love less in the emotional sense and more in the immediate physical or visceral sense. Visceral. So yeah, I suppose that would be my immediate inclination to think we're talking about the minutes of physical love making. I suppose you could fall in love during a short period, or like experience that for minutes at a time, but yeah, it feels like an odd pairing of that emotion or experience with that temporally limited unit of time. So let's find out what George has to say about it. This is Minutes of Love from his Sticky Druisin album, 1995. I heard that bass line. Whoa. He and Madonna should get together and write a song. Sensitive, fragile, working harder. He's like channeling his inner Prince here. I like the cool, like, boom vocals. I feel like I was on the right path with my thematic musings. Go for more. So these minutes of love make her his for the rest of time. I mean, I joke a little bit for Han Solo's sake, but it really does sound like a Prince song. Mine is the boom boom boom. Describing legs and hair and sounds that are made. I do love that one. Is the film in my eyes? Or that film in my eyes? I like that flute or bird-esque melody. What's that? terms of the lead vocals, this is the most I've heard him do a, like, you know, breathy, kind of soulful, I think it's supposed to be like an overtly type of, like, sexy voice, so I don't think I was wrong with my assessment, even though there's nothing that's clear, unambiguous to support that hypothesis. It feels like, given his vocal delivery, given the lines which sounded like a physical description of one, maybe even the sounds they were making, it feels like maybe that's where it is, but again, not entirely sure. Either way, I like the sort of 90s R&B funk vibes. It was sort of somewhere between the R&B funk Venn diagram, but ultimately with the added, you know, Kranz special where vocals show up in places you wouldn't normally find them, the bass line, the rhythm guitar, let's say. So yeah, and then there were the deeper voice ones at the end where I wasn't quite sure exactly what the word was there, but yeah, my bet is that this is about physical sexual passion overtly. So let me know if I'm wrong about that. As I said, there's a remix of, oh, which tune is it? Let's see if I can remember. I don't have the folder open anymore, but is it, I want to say it's This Is Jack. I want to say it was a remix of This Is Jack. Either way, I know there's at least one, like, remix of a tune we've already heard, and then we'll be on to another album, though Han Solo has mentioned from the very beginning that it would have been better had I started with an earlier album. I don't remember why I started with Sticky Druisin. Maybe it was just the weird name, but yeah, it's 95, and there's stuff before this which is apparently, you know, even more ear-catching and experimental, so perhaps we'll jump back in time after this. Obviously, Han Solo, if you have a specific recommendation in that regard, do let me know. Regardless, let me know what you think of this tune, and I will see you next time. Peace.